Good morning. We're here today with Bob Cole. Bob is the owner of the Premier Professional Home Care here in Grand Rapids. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure.
Well, Premier Professional Home Care is locally owned and operated, and that's important. And maybe you could tell us why.
Well, I think so for a number of reasons. I was born and raised in the community. I've spent most of my life here. I think it's a great community, and I think it makes a difference having a local, working with a local company. I always, in all my business transactions, I prefer to work with a local company versus a national franchise or whatever. So I think it's important, and I have a person I work with, Stacy Berger, and she's also locally born and bred, and between the two of us, we've got 26 years in the industry. We've worked for bigger companies. We had some ideas which we thought would maybe help improve the industry, and so we're two local yokels trying to do well and create a great business.
Right, serving the people that you grow up with and that you want to help.
Yep, exactly.
So talk about serving people. Who typically are clients of Premier Professional Home Care?
Well, I think one of the misconceptions is that we deal strictly with the elderly, which is not true. We actually deal with adults 18 and up, and actually we're starting, because of the experience of our caregivers, offering child care as well. But primarily adults, disabled adults, adults that need help at home, and including seniors who just need a little help at home to stay independent. So really, it's quite a broad spectrum of people. It's whoever needs a little help.
So speaking of that help, what kind of help would you go in and be able to provide?
Okay, a number of things actually. We provide help with personal care, in other words, bathing and grooming, helping them get dressed and get ready for the day. We help them with mobility assistance if they need help with that. We do light housekeeping. We do companionship, transportation, meal preparation. We'll help people, say, if they need somebody to go to the doctors with them and be with them at a doctor's appointment, or if they have to go into the hospital, coming home from the hospital. That's the basic services right there.
And so obviously one of the key components to making this successful is putting the right caregiver into the home with that person. So
Exactly.
Tell me about your caregivers.
First of all, it's kind of an art, and one of the things we do in our evaluation of caregivers is try to figure out what their strengths and weaknesses are, so that when we're matching a caregiver with a client, we're matching the strengths that they need for that particular client. The other thing we do is we do a lot of training. We do monthly in-service training. We just recently hired an RN who's also a PhD, and she's certified actually to do certified nursing assistant training as well as CPR and first aid. And so she's doing a lot of our training classes now, so we're training in CPR, first aid, a lot of the things that certified nursing assistants do, and we do have employ CNAs as well. And then we do all kinds of training. It just depends if mobility assistance, for instance, working with a Hoyer lift or a gait belt or a slide board. We do those kinds of training. I think that's a big difference, is continually training, continually trying to improve and get better at what we do. And
So not just putting any old person who applies for a job in a home with someone.
No, because I think it's too critical and too important when you're sending somebody into most likely a vulnerable person, a vulnerable adult's home on their own, and that person's got to be trustworthy, they have to be well trained, and they also need to be compensated fairly as well. So we also pay our caregivers a little bit better. We start them out a little higher. We offer incentives. I've paid out customer satisfaction bonuses, and we also offer profit sharing. So we've had very little turnover. Our caregivers have a vested interest in the success of the company, and I think it's translated into better service and dedicated employees and trustworthy employees.
And so if someone you know, if I need help for my mom or dad and I call Premier Professional Home Care, what is then the process for getting started?
We'll make an appointment to do a free assessment. In other words, Stacy or myself will come out, we'll meet with the family, we'll discuss, you know, what they need and the services we provide, and if it's the right match, the right fix, then we go from there. And then the schedules, you know, we'll do our best to match a good caregiver for the client, and then the schedules are individualized, personalized, so the schedules are whatever that particular person's needs. So the schedules, no two schedules are alike, just like no two clients are alike.
So maybe someone might need just a few hours a week and someone might need 24/7 care.
Exactly.
Okay, and you
Exactly.
personally go out and make that assessment for the client?
Correct.
Great. Well, Bob, thanks for being here today, owner of Premier Professional Home Care here, locally grown in Grand Rapids. Thank you.
Thank you.